All right, man, peace. So, brother, this is going to be volume 1 in a new series that I'm starting called Watch Yourself Around These Women. And it will be featuring Mr. Luke Walton. Let me say this, brothers. Ain't none of us perfect. We've all gotten caught up in some silly shit in the past, but we have to learn from it. When I look at Luke Walton, this storyline that's being thrust upon him, it's kind of obvious what it is to me. For those of you who have not been caught up on the situation that has befallen Mr. Luke Walton, he formerly was the head coach of the LA Lakers. Before that, he was one of the top assistants on Steve Kerr's coaching staff with the Golden State Warriors. Now he is the head coach for the Sacramento Kings. One of the Lakers sideline reporters by the name of Kelly Tennant has decided that she's going to levy a charge against Luke Walton, accusing him of sexual assault. She claims that Luke Walton lured her up to his hotel bedroom, held her down on the bed, and according to her, she feared that he was going to rape her. But according to her story, he just let her go. Now, does that make any sense to you, brothers? I'm sure that it doesn't. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. What I believe happened is that Luke Walton and Kelly Tennant were having an affair. Luke Walton broke it off, and she said to herself, you know what? I'm going to take out my pound of flesh. That's just my view of it. Now, if you go on Kelly Tennant's Instagram, she's one of these Me Too movement, social justice warrior type broads. So you always have to be very wary of the type of females that you're talking to. Just because they look good does not mean that their brain works well. Okay? Please keep that in mind. That's why, once again, the name of this series is going to be Watch Yourself Around These Women. A lot of them are struggling with mental issues, with psychological disorders, especially because they have embraced many of these Luciferian/liberal ideologies, and they don't know up from down. What liberal ideologies do is teach people to be incensed about everything and always to be enabled by the concept that everything is supposed to go their way. And when things don't go their way, they become very embittered. And that's when you have to watch out for them. Once again, I believe that what happened is that Luke Walton was trying to creep with this broad and that he was doing it for a hot second. He broke it off and she got upset. And that can happen. So anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Bombshell allegations against Sacramento Kings coach Luke Walton. We broke the story and now even more information. Welcome to TMZ Sports. Evan here with Van Lathan. What up?
The Tammuz Network always breaks all these stories. Ain't that something?
What up? Michael J. Babcock. What's up? Luke Walton is being sued by a woman who claims that he sexually assaulted her back when he was an assistant coach on the Golden State.
Hey, brothers, you see the emblem on Luke Walton's shirt back when he was with the Golden State Warriors? You see the 8-pointed radiating star around the Golden State Bridge? The 8-pointed star is for the mother goddess Inanna. And then you see on either side of the 8-pointed radiating star is the inverted pentagram for the Baphomet. And as we can see, it's an Adidas shirt. And the emblem for Adidas are the 3 pyramids.
State Warriors. We broke the story on Monday afternoon. She filed a lawsuit in LA County Superior Court claiming that the woman, by the way, we should get into, is Kelly Tennant.
And let me say this very quickly since I brought it up. The 3 pyramids located in Egypt are meant to correspond to Orion's belt.
She's a sports reporter who actually hosted a Lakers pregame show. She's been doing sports reporting in Los Angeles for years.
These broads are so funny. They always talk about how they should not be substantiated in life by their looks, but they're always taking these silly photos on Instagram and Snapchat, claiming to show a quote-unquote fresh face look. I'm appearing with no makeup on, I'm fresh face. Brothers, do men take these type of photos? No, they don't. You know why? Because men by nature are far more secure in their looks than women are. Women are always trying to blame men for their insecurities. The woman tends to be insecure by nature because she understands that she has a genetic predisposition to want to appeal to men. So that's why when you intermix that with most of these Luciferian liberal ideologies, that's what makes them all bugged out. Because they're trying to fight against their genetic predisposition to want to appeal to men.
Fairly famous sports reporter, somebody that we've seen on television
all the time. Yeah. That's true. Now, she says that she had a good relationship with Luke Walton for years, and
yeah, I bet it was very good. And brothers, you ever notice with so many of these female sideline reporters, they approach these athletes, and especially this one, Rosgold I'm Woody, or as I call her, Rosgold giving Woodies. She's always appearing at the game on the sideline with a tight-ass miniskirt on and a deep-cut blouse, trying to seduce these players and get them to look at her. And I noticed her a while back, especially in the Warriors championship runs in 2015 and 2016, where even Ayesha Curry seemed to know what Ra's goal was trying to do, which is steal her man. And not steal her man all the way, but just get him into the bedroom. That's really what that was about, because Ra's goal would give Stephen Curry those bedroom eyes. And this is a dynamic that you see many times in society with the concubine level female. She's enraptured by the image, by the falsehood of the misunderstanding in her mind that she actually could be wife material. So that's why she gets turned on by another woman's husband. In her mind, she sees that maybe she could be a wife one day. And when she sees a husband material man, that turns her on, and she wants to try to take that man. That's what that dynamic is all about. But Ra's goal on Woody, she knows that she's not no damn wife material woman. That broad is running around trying to seduce this person and that person. She's a liberal woman. Ayesha Curry's a damn liberal woman too. And she's a mind control handler over Steph Curry. But at least she's a little bit more balanced in her liberalism. But at the end of the day, most of these sideline reporters are there to be eye candy. They're there for the most part, hoping not only to seduce certain players, but also certain coaches. And I think that is what happened with Miss Kelly Tennant and Mr. Luke Walton.
And as a matter of fact, such a good relationship that she asked him to write the foreword of a book that she was writing.
Yeah, I bet. Was it an updated version of the Kama Sutra? Look, let me say this, brothers. When they talk about their great relationship, they was fucking. Okay, allegedly. Just my view of it. They was fucking. And Luke Walton cut the broad off and she said, oh, hell no, not me.
And when the book was done, she went to a hotel to go drop it off. A place called Casa del Mar Hotel in Santa Monica when the Warriors were in town to play the Lakers. And while she was there, he invited her to his hotel room. Once they got into the room, she's like, this is...
Allegedly, he invited her to his hotel room. Maybe he did. Or maybe she just said, Luke, I'm coming up. And Luke said, you damn right, we both gonna be coming.
This is weird that we're here, but he started aggressively trying to force himself on her according to this lawsuit. She claims that he held her down, he pinned her down, he tried to basically get on top of her. She says in the suit that she feared that he was going to rape her and kept telling her no, stop, don't, fought her way out. And
brothers, once again, when you investigate Miss Kelly Tennant's Instagram, she's one of these modern day social justice warrior broads. She's a Me Too movement broad. And they'll do anything for attention. Anything. Am I saying that it's beyond the pale that a head coach or a prominent person in the entertainment industry would try to rape a woman? Of course not. But do I believe it in this case? No, I do not. No.
And ultimately got him to let her go, and she left the room. Wow. But she claims
she got him to let her go. I wonder how she did that. If supposedly he held her down with such a firm vice grip that she was concerned that he was going to rape her, what stopped him? What was she able to do to escape his grasp all of a sudden?
Abusive conduct continued for a while, and in May 2017, after he had become the head coach of the Lakers, that there was an incident where he was at a charity event with Jeannie Buss, and she was there, and he was touching her and grabbing her and making...
Yeah, because they was fucking. That's why. That's assuming that what she's saying actually occurred, which might not even have happened.
Making inappropriate comments to her there as well. Now, she didn't go to authorities, and she claims that the reason she didn't go to authorities
is because the story's bullshit.
Because she says it's common for sexual assault survivors to suffer in silence, but she did find a lawyer.
So in other words, she wanted to be one in a group of women that she says knowingly suffer in silence. And all of a sudden now she has the strength to come forward. I wonder why that is. And this is while Luke Walton was a coach of the Lakers. This was in the midst of the Me Too movement. And once again, this broad is one of these Me Too movement, female power, girl power broads. And she did not have the courage to go to the police until now. Okay.
Lawyer, and now she's filed this lawsuit. We've reached out to her to ask why she didn't go to cops at all in this situation, and so far we haven't heard back. But we have now heard from Luke Walton's rep. He's got a lawyer, and he's going aggressively at this accuser, saying that her allegations are bogus. Quote, the allegations are baseless. The accuser is an opportunist, not a victim, and her
Right, but what does that really even mean? She's a woman, so of course she's an opportunist. Women are opportunists by nature. People in general are opportunists by nature, but especially the woman, because the woman is always looking for attention. In order for you to gain opportunities, you need attention. Eventually what's going to come out is that Luke Walton was hitting it. That's what I believe is eventually going to come out.
Claim is not credible. We intend to prove this in a quorum. So the question now is, what happens now? What do the Sacramento Kings do? The Lakers are saying
the Sacramento Kings are going to fall back. They're going to wait to see how things transpire and then go from there.
And we have had no knowledge of this, and same with the Golden State Warriors. So what do the Sacramento Kings do?
Gotta ice Luke Walton.
Really?
Gotta ice Luke Walton so you know everything.
You gotta suspend him?
Like,
They just hired him. Keep in mind, they hired him last week.
Yeah, I mean, the safest thing for the Sacramento Kings to do, first of all, despite whether or not she went to the police or not, every single incident of sexual assault should be taken very, very seriously and should be...
Yeah, it's called an investigation. That's all it's called. Of course, they're going to have to put Luke Walton on ice, meaning no public appearances for now. But he still has to act as the incoming coach of the Sacramento Kings. Because people have to be, you have to be very concerned about where this society is going when it comes to the baseless accusations that people feel like they can make. We've already seen this with Jussie Smollett. We've seen this with many of these Me Too broads. Anything that occurs with them, because they have psychological issues, they're always trying to clamor for attention. So men especially are going to have to start doing a lot more than just complaining about it on the internet.
The victim should be respected, believed, and should be investigated. Now here's the deal.
No, the victim should not be believed. That's why you have an investigation. If I believe what you were saying, I would not need an investigation. That's why you have in America the process of the accused person being innocent until proven guilty, but we do have to investigate the claims of the accuser. That's how that works. No, we just don't believe someone because they made a claim or some type of accusation.
You can't do that while having that guy work for you. You don't fire Luke Walton, but you do your investigation for the Sacramento Kings.
Look at what just occurred about a month or so ago with Mike Bibby. He was accused of raping a woman. He was found to be innocent, but it was too late because he'd already been fired.
You watch the actual how things play out in court and through this system, but you can't have him working for you while this allegation is.
It's interesting though, because when Kobe Bryant was going through his rape allegations years ago, 2004, I believe, in Eagle, Colorado, that court case was happening, and he would go to court on a private jet in Colorado and then fly and play basketball for the Lakers sometimes the same day.
Might as well have been 300 years ago.
I know, it's a different time now.
Yeah, might as well have been literally 300 years ago in terms of what we know now, how we address.
No, not what you know now, what you feel now. Because you're a liberal Negro, Mr. Lathan, Van Lathan. So at the end of the day, all you're about is your feelings. You're not about knowledge.
Address incidents of sexual violence. But number one, to be honest with you, the Kings aren't playing right now.
Right, yeah.
So,
That's the point. So even if you're going to quote-unquote put him on ice, it's not really ice anyway. You're just waiting to see how things are going to, how they're going to transpire, what the next steps are going to be. How much can they substantiate her accusations? I don't think that she's going to be able to substantiate anything. That's why, once again, it comes off to me as a woman who's embittered, because she knows that there's not going to be any proof of this in the court of law. You went up to his hotel room. You claimed that you were held down. You feared that he was going to rape you. Somehow you escaped, left, and waited 2 years to report it to the police. Where exactly do you think this is going to go, unless this is just an attempt at either one, a shakedown, or two, to publicly embarrass Luke Walton? That's all it could be.
It's the summer, the Kings didn't make the playoffs. So really, having Luke Walton be away from the facility or the organization right now isn't nearly as hurtful as what is happening in the summer.
Sure, Luke and the organization is catching a break, because if he were coaching, then it would be a lot stranger if he had to sit on the, kind of stay away from the team.
And let me say this, even if Kobe Bryant had been accused of raping a girl today, as he was back in 2003, 2004, it would not have been that much different. The NBA was not going to suspend Kobe Bryant for a whole season just based on an accusation from someone. It would have been the same media circus, but it would not have been that much different overall.
An interesting piece of video that we shot over the weekend of Luke Walton out in Beverly Hills leaving Ava Restaurant with his wife. Now, Luke Walton's married, has got kids, been married for a little while. Yeah. And over the weekend, he was at Ava, which is a very popular celebrity hotspot.
And his wife looked better than the broad that he was sleeping around with, the concubine. So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, we know that it's not about which woman looks better. It's just about having another piece of ass. I get it. It is what it is. But Luke Walton has to watch what he's doing, because he's a high-profile figure. When you're dealing with these broads and they're working for the same organization that you're working for, these women are bitter, man. And they will approach these type of cavalier relationships trying to act as if they're cool with the dynamic, when really they're trying to steal you from your wife. And I believe that this chick, Kelly Tennant, in her mind, thought maybe I could steal him from his wife. She's a basketball sideline reporter, so at the end of the day, she's just a groupie with a microphone. That's all most of these sideline reporters are. They're just groupies with microphones. So I think that in her mind, she said to herself, maybe I could steal this dude. And when she realized that he was not going to leave his wife for her, she said, you know what? No problem. You'll see me a little bit later. You're going to hear about me a little bit later.
Hot spot in Beverly Hills. LeBron James goes there all the time. And we got Luke going out, arm in arm with his wife. And we would try to talk to him about what's going on with the Lakers and the Kings.
His wife tall, too, because Luke about 6'6", 6'7". So his wife probably played either basketball or volleyball herself. She looks like she's about 6'1", 6'2", because I'm guessing that she's in heels here.
And he didn't want to talk to us, watch the video, but now looking back, because this lawsuit was filed on Monday, you got to wonder if he knew that this was happening and was trying to get ahead of it by showing himself to the public as a happily married man, you know.
Well, really, he's just trying to get back in his wife's good graces. Because I'm sure the wife knew that he was screwing around on her. And he knows that she could take him to court, and if he pisses her off, it's going to be a double issue. It's going to be both women trying to take his head off. So right now, he has to play the good soldier and appease his wife.
You know, in a marriage with a wife who he loves and a family. Take a look at this video.
Congratulations on the new job, first of all. So I had to ask you, man, was it hard to part ways with Los Angeles?
On a date with my wife, I'm not talking about basketball.
No, that's okay, that's okay.
So the question I have here is, Luke Walton's a smart guy. Do you think that he went there knowing that there were going to be cameras and was trying to kind of get ahead of it and kind of, it was a preemptive image, a PR push?
No, he's worried about his wife, not the PR.
Listen, I don't know if it was all that, but I do know that he knows that there would be cameras there.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
But
he knows he's going to be
what
shot.
does this video do today? Nobody is saying that Luke Walton did.
No, because this is the last video that we shot of him before the lawsuit was filed. So I think that, like, the lasting impression that you put out there is like, look, I'm not a rapist, I'm not a sexual assaulter, I'm a...
Right, but how would him being out on a date with his wife prove that? You're trying too hard, sir.
I'm a happily married man with a wife who loves me and a family, and I think that's
He could be happily married and still like to have some side pussy.
a smart PR move on his part if it was calculated. Real talk, she's got an uphill battle.
Look at this, bro. You can look at her and see she's batshit crazy. Even with that damn wrist tat, she is batshit crazy. Hey, brothers, watch yourself around some of these women, man. Watch yourself around these women. I say this all the time. A man can have more than one woman. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with having more than one woman. But is it something that is advisable? No, it's not, depending on the caliber of women that you're dealing with. Okay, so you make sure that you take your time and that you scrutinize every person that you allow in your life. Not just women, but the dudes too. Because a lot of these dudes act like females with penises any damn way. But when it comes to these so-called relationships, you got to vet these broads, man. This broad looks batshit crazy. God damn.
Battle here, because if the first incident happened when he was an assistant coach for the Warriors, that he stopped doing that in 2016. He was the assistant for 2014, 2016. So these allegations are a couple years old, and it was a rape, so there was no rape.
I hear people saying that, Evan,
Yeah,
and just put yourself in her situation.
No, it matters.
No, it's not your job to put yourself in her situation. It's your job to hear her story and then check to see if there are enough factoids to actually substantiate a charge. And from there, the legal process begins. That's the problem with super liberals. Everything with them is about their feelings. Put yourself in her situation. No, that's exactly what you're not supposed to do. What you're supposed to do is make sure that you can vet her story, because anybody can say anything. If you lead with the facts and with rationale, that's how you make sure that justice is served, not by your feelings.
Matters in terms of being able to win a lawsuit. Well, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying in terms of winning the case, it's going to be hard to prove that.
She is a woman in sports who is on television. If she were to come forward...
Yes, and her mentality is to try to seduce men. Most of these females on television, especially involved in the sports world, they dress extremely unprofessionally. They dress like they're going to the club. They dress like they're trying to seduce the players.
Forward, it really could have negatively affected her career.
Right, and you know,
I want to be clear. I'm not doubting her allegation.
Right.
Well, I am. You can speak for yourself. I'm doubting her allegations. I'm not believing it. You tell me that you went up to this dude's hotel room, he damn near considered raping you, somehow you magically, mystically escaped, and you waited 2+ years to report it, even though you're one of these wokety-woke social justice warrior Me Too movement broads. I'm not buying it.
I'm just saying, as a matter of being able to win the lawsuit in the court of law, she's going to have to prove that this incident took place 3 years ago and it wasn't a rape. The allegations aren't of rape, so there's not going to be medical evidence to prove any of this stuff. So it's going to be in my opinion, it's going to be very difficult for her to win this.
She's not going to win. She's trying to embarrass him. She knows that she's not going to win. She's trying to embarrass him. That's how you know that there was something going on between those two.
I mean, perhaps, but I will say this, and we are seeing a lot of accusers from the past come up and talk about things that at the time they just didn't have, the climate wasn't conducive for them to really.
Oh man, please. The climate is always conducive to say that somebody did something to you that they were not supposed to do. As long as you really believe in your spirit that somebody did something to you that they were not supposed to do. Just knock it off.
Really speak their truth. Yeah. And you have to wonder if people are going to take things like that into consideration.
People act like women were not crying rape before 2016. Give me a fucking break. Women been crying rape since men have had penises and they've had vaginas. Let's knock it off.
When listening to these stories. Now, obviously there has to be all kinds of testimony, and we have to kind of parse through who's saying what. But I gotta say,
yes, and the actual substance of the case, which is of the utmost importance, because there are not many things that are worse than a man being accused of rape that a man could be accused of. I mean, maybe child molestation, murder, and even murder. There are times when you might have to kill someone, whether it be in self-defense or what have you. There are not many worse things that a man could be accused of than rape.
I say, man, bad situation for Luke Walton, just because the one thing that everyone could say about Luke Walton, no matter what you think about him as a basketball coach, what you think about him as a basketball player, he was universally lauded as just a good guy. Right. The last guy I would have ever thought to have heard something like this about. Doesn't mean in any way, though, that this is
and we're going to be following this as the case continues, so check in at tmgsports.com for the latest.
But anyway, that's basically it on that. Once again, brothers, watch yourself around these women. Pussy is great, I get it, but a lot of these females are more trouble than they're worth. Make sure you understand the difference between a wife and a concubine and what the ramifications are for dealing with each type of female that's out here. But anyway, peace.